Today I'm making soda farls. So I have two separate recipes. Recipe 1 and recipe 2. So recipe 1 is 8 ounces of plain flour, 1 teaspoonful of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda, 1 teaspoonful of sugar, which is optional, pinch of salt, and approximately a quarter pint of buttermilk. The second recipe, very similar, 8 ounces of self-raising soda bread flour, 1 teaspoonful of sugar, again optional, and half a pint of buttermilk approximately. So the first lot or batch that I've made them using the soda bread flour. So it's self-raising soda bread flour, and I added roughly a quarter pint of buttermilk. So I put the dry ingredients into the bowl, mixed it together to a sticky dough with the buttermilk. That's all you need. It contains its own raisin agent and salt, etc. So you don't need anything else. And if you're weighing out ingredients and you don't have scales, use a mug. And a heaped mug is roughly 8 ounces. So you don't even need a set of scales. So that's the first recipe. The second one that I'm going to cook off now is using plain flour. So I've used plain flour instead, and obviously it's just flour with nothing added. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt, teaspoonful of baking soda, and you can add some sugar if you so wish. So I'll put all the ingredients into the dry ingredients into the mixing bowl. Roughly mix them up together. Doesn't really matter that much. And before I actually mix them up, I have the frying pan ready. You can use a griddle if you have one, or an electric frying pan, whatever suits you best. So I'll heat that up till the flour just starts to turn brown, just about and no more. And you can put your hand over the pan as well, and you can feel the heat as it starts to heat up. And with practice you get to know the heat of your pan. So I've mixed it together. Now you do need to mix it well together till you get a good elastic dough. And if you go a bit easy on the buttermilk at the beginning and then add a wee bit more if it's still a bit dry. On the opposite, if you're a bit heavy-handed with the buttermilk, add another wee bit of flour, just maybe a dessert spoonful of flour might be enough to bring it back. But you're eating these yourself, so if they're not perfect, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to tip them out onto the floured surface. So I've tipped them out onto the floured surface, and I've just made them into a ball with my hand. And then when I've got them just slightly flattened, they will spread as they cook. That's enough. So when I've flattened them like that, I'll take a sharp knife and just cut them in four. Like that. And onto the pan. So that's them ready to go onto the pan. The pan, as you can see, is just turning brown. And if I put my hand over the top of it, it's pretty hot. And it'll take a couple of minutes on each side. And I'll let them cook and keep an eye on them. And then whenever I'll check the underneath, and then I'll turn them over and do the other side. So these are now ready for turning. They've cooked about 2 to 3 minutes. So I've turned 2 there. You can see the way they're nice and golden. And just another couple of minutes on the other side. Now I did turn my pan down a wee bit. I think it's got a wee bit cool, so I'm going to turn them up slightly again. But they're cooking perfectly. So once I get them starting to cook on both sides, then I keep turning them, because I know with the feel them, they're still not cooked right. So just keep turning them so they don't brown too much. And you'll know they're ready when they start to sound hollow, and you'll know by the feel of them as well. So that's them ready. It's taken about, I suppose, 4 to 5 minutes. And now I just transfer them onto a cooling rack. So that's them off the griddle and ready to eat. So these ones are made with the plain flour, the baking soda and salt and buttermilk. And then the first lot are made with the self-raising soda bread flour and buttermilk. Now, if I zoom back out, you'll notice that the ones made with the self-raising soda bread flour look bigger. And they are, simply because I added too much buttermilk and had to add a little more flour. So obviously I got more out of the mixture. But they'll all taste good. Which is my favourite. I think I like the one with the plain flour, because I find the one with the soda bread flour, somehow I think they add too much salt, where I can control the salt that I've added to the plain flour ones. So it's up to yourself. So I'm going to cut one open now and just show you what it's like inside. So here we are. That's what they're like whenever they're cut open. That's the soda bread flour one, which is cooler. The other one's still a wee bit hot. And I've just put some butter and had some stewed rhubarb that I got from one of my sisters. I'm just going to have it like that. So there you are, homemade soda farls. And that's the recipe again.